Hello, and welcome back to the Empowered to Lead the Therapist Practice podcast. That's a mouthful. I'm so glad that you have returned and are tuning into today's episode because this is an important one. I get this question so many times, whether I'm talking with people one-on-one or in the Facebook group. What do I do when a contractor leaves? How do I handle this? Because it brings up so much for us, whether we're the ones choosing to have them leave or if somebody is choosing to leave us. So let's dig in. How do you handle it when a contractor leaves? And some of you are going to agree with me and some of you are going to disagree. And maybe there's little pieces that you like and there's some others that maybe you do differently. I actually am going to start this by saying if you do it differently and it's worked well for you, send me a message. I would love to hear how you handle it so that I can share some of those options with other group practice owners. So there are three pieces that I think you need to consider as a contractor leaves. You want to take care of you want to take care of the contractor, and you want to take care of your clients. And so how does that look? We're going to start with how do you take care of you? And there's two different aspects of this. If you're making the choice, that's one thing. And if somebody comes and tells you they're leaving, it's another thing. So let's start with if you are making the choice to have somebody leave, what are the ways to take care of you and your business, honestly? The first question I would ask you is, have you communicated what is missing? And have you done that well? Have you sat down and said, hey, I've noticed this. What do you think we can do to improve it? Have you set timelines for that to happen? Being really clear on what needs to change in order to continue this relationship. If you have done that, then know why you are letting this contractor go. What are the facts? There are emotions behind it, but stick to some of the facts. And then how does this take care of you as a business owner and personally, all the stuff that comes up for you when you're dealing with this person? What are some ways that letting this person go is going to help you? How is it going to help your business? It may feel in the moment like this is not going to help my business, so I'm going to lose people. It's going to hurt financially. But if you take into consideration your team, your business, your finances, and your clients, what is that bigger picture? How is this going to help you? And I will tell you, the first time that you have to let somebody go, it is really hard to do. You're going to second guess yourself. You're probably going to leave it longer than you want to. You want to hire slow and you want to fire fast. And one of the reasons why you want to fire fast is because the overall team is noticing. They see when things aren't going well, or if somebody isn't on board the way that you are wanting the team to function. So how do you help yourself make that decision? And then I think you need to have that conversation with the contractor in person or over Zoom so that you can see face to face. Your contractors are your billboards, whether they're working for you or they're leaving you. And so if you can care for them well and not burn any bridges, that's going to help you, your business, your clients, and your contractor as you move forward. Be very clear about what is happening. Stick to the facts. Don't let the emotion come in. They're going to be asking questions. They're probably going to be emotional, but keep it to the facts. And then explain your next steps and the timeline that they can expect. Once you're done that conversation, take some time to take care of you. It's hard, especially that first one is so disconcerting. It is awkward. You're not going to do it 100% perfectly. Connect with somebody who gets you, who knows your heart, who knows how you went about this decision, and have some grounding. Maybe you need to close the door and have a little cry before you go into the next thing. But take care of you. If they are making the choice and you sit down, I love it when people are like, hey, Lisa, can we talk? And then they don't say anything else. My heart goes. I tell myself all of these stories. I've started now to say, hey, what would you like to talk about? So that I am not spinning these stories. But you sit down and your contractor says, hey, I've decided that I'm going to be leaving. I'm going to go and do this. So these steps that I'm going to suggest are based on the idea that they are going to move into their own private practice, or they're going to go and join a different group practice. So some of these steps would be different if they are just leaving, doing any kind of private practice, or if they are going to an agency, that kind of thing. Some of the steps would be a bit different. So remember, again, your contractors are your billboard, whether they are with you or leaving. Treat them well as much as you can, even if you are hurt or upset. Be clear on what the exit plan will be. Take a deep breath, have that conversation. Actually going to backtrack a little bit. You will have thought this through already because you are that kind of CEO. You have your systems, you know your offboarding process. So you might have to go and look to see what the exact steps are. But you generally know what it means to have somebody leave because you have helped your past self has helped your current self in that process. So be very clear. What does it mean to leave? We're going to talk about that a little bit. And then take some time to take care of you again. Who do you need to talk to? Do you need to close the door and cry? Do you need to celebrate because you were hoping that they would make that decision rather than you? Either way, it's going to be hard, but you and your business will recover from this loss. So how do you treat them well? How do you not burn any bridges in that process? And then you want to move on to how do you take care of the contractor? So it comes back again to being very clear on your offboarding process. And I used to really avoid this. I didn't want to give anybody any ideas of, hey, this is how you leave my business. You just came and joined me. Now I'm telling you how to leave. But that actually is really helpful for you and for your therapist. If you are clear, here's our onboarding process. Here's how it is while you're with us. And then these are the steps if and when you decide to leave. So be very clear on that. What are the processes for your business? So for me, I believe that the client generally came to the business first and then built a relationship with the clinician. So I want to be the first one that they hear from about this change in the services that we're providing. So I have a draft email that I will give to the contractor to say, we just wanted to let you know that this person is moving on from our business. We wish them well. Here is what they're going to be doing, and here are your options. So then I encourage you to send a draft of that email to your contractor first, and then to your clients. Send it out to your clients. In that email, you're going to give them 3 options. They can go with the therapist, if that's possible, if they're moving to somewhere where they can still see clients. They can be referred internally, or you can give them an external referral. And then make sure that they know that if they are going anywhere that you know of, you want to make sure that there is a release of information on file for that client to be transferred externally, internally, however that looks. You are a keeper of records, and so it's important to show that you have been handling that paperwork well and what the client's options are. So that kind of is also taking care of clients when we're talking about the 3 different areas. Let your contractor know how you're going to track who is going with them, whether you're putting that on them or you're coordinating that with your admin team, what that process looks like for you, when their notes and their last in are due, and where to leave their key. When will they lose access to the various technologies that you provide? And do what you can to not burn any bridges. This is so hard to do because of those emotions, but you can do it. And I have people that I've done this well with, And we're still referring clients back and forth because we know that the other person can serve those clients well. I have some that I haven't done this as well with, and there is a burnt bridge. Sometimes we have taken some time and then come back and healed that. Other times that just isn't the best fit for either of us moving forward. As much as possible, don't burn those bridges. Keep it open. Keep the communication open. Treat your contractor like they have a red carpet treatment, is what one other group practice owner shares. This is a small world. There are so many ways that you can do this well, and that's going to look unique to you. It's going to be a little bit different than how I do it, but keep yourself, your contractors, and your clients' needs at the forefront, and you'll do this well. And then how do you take care of the clients? So we've talked a little bit about like sending that email out and giving them the options. I know if I had a therapist who was leaving a practice and the practice told me, you can't go with that person, you have to work with someone else, I'd be like, hell no. I will figure out how to find that person because I have just been so vulnerable with them. And on the opposite end of things, you can also assure people, like if a contractor is no longer going to be available in any kind of private practice, sometimes this is a good time to make a change and have a different perspective, have a different approach with your therapist. And that will be hard. You will lose some clients, you will lose some money, and it will be difficult, but you will recover. It will be okay. Be very clear on what their options are for moving forward. This is not their choice. Some of them are going to be upset. Do what you can to handle that well. Forgot to say, one of the things also with taking care of the contractor is not only do I send out that email, in that email, I do talk about, hey, client, your contractor is going to be having a conversation with you about this in session so that you can make a decision about what's the best way to move forward for you. So even though you are that first point of contact, you are providing that way for the therapist to have their spin and their care for their clients through that. I hope you found this helpful. I would love to hear how you handle it when contractors leave. This is a very big piece of owning a group practice. It's very exciting to start it all up and have dreams that people are going to stay with you forever. And some people do. I would say on average, people stay 2 to 3 years and then find something else. That is different for each group practice owner. But being prepared, knowing what your steps are going to be, helps you be a good leader, be an empowered leader. It helps your contractors be led well and to trust that you know what you're doing and that you're going to care for them and for their clients. And the clients to know that you are in charge, that you know what's happening in your business. So thanks again for tuning in. I will close up this time. I hope that you will check out our next episode and feel free to send me an email and let me know what it is that you do. Thanks for hanging out with me on Empowered to Lead, the therapist practice. If you're ready for deeper support, I'd love to see you inside the Group Practice Connection, my monthly membership where Canadian therapists like you get coaching, community, and the tools to build a business that actually supports your life. You can check it out at grouppracticenetwork.ca. We're building something great here, and I'm so glad you're a part of it.
This is Michelle Abraham, and we are honored to have Lisa Catallo's Empowered to Lead podcast on our High Vibe Podcast Network. For more shows like hers and to grab your free gift from the gift fold, head on over to highvibepodcastnetwork.com.